Now, the family of a young boy fighting to survive after a shooting is speaking out. 11-year-old Damari Johnson was shot outside the Golden Glide skating rink in DeKalb County a couple weekends ago, and police are still looking for the shooter. The family says that while there are security measures inside the rink, fights inside often get pushed to the parking lot and lead to trouble. Our crews are there to listen to the family, and we will bring you more information as soon as we get it. Right now, police are searching for the person who shot and killed a man at an apartment complex. This all went down on Glenwood Road in Decatur. The shooting happened just before midnight. The victim's name has not been released. There are some new details in the shooting death of a man along Atlanta's Beltline. Atlanta police releasing this new picture of the victim. They say Reuben Pokey Bridges was found shot and killed inside his car Friday on Donnelly Avenue. Investigators said they believe the shots were fired from inside the vehicle, but haven't released any other details about the case. There's a $2,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Turning now to a tragedy in Gwinnett County on Easter Sunday. A family grieving the death of a 10-year-old girl, now struggling with the fact that her teenage brother is accused of starting a fire that killed her. Dawn White spoke to police who say they took a teenager into custody last night after his sister died in the house fire.
I woke up and I just glanced out my window and I seen lights shining.
Mike Kilgore woke up to see this scene across the streets along Beaver Road Southwest in Loganville.
So I looked outside and there was police, ambulance, fire trucks, good quarter, half mile long.
Police got the call around 5 Sunday morning. They say 7 people lived in the home, 5 children and 2 adults.
As for the community, there's no threat to any public right now. We don't believe that there's going to be a serial arson issue. We believe that this was an isolated incident.
Investigators say they found the girl dead inside a bedroom with no windows. Police believe a 15-year-old boy was inside, and they later found him away from the home.
How could one kid take another kid's life, especially when it's their own brother or sister?
Kilgore says the family lived at the home for 25 years, but he only talked to them twice. He believes the children were homeschooled.
I'm praying for them. If they need anything, I'm across the street, so I can help them any way. I'll try to. It's sad, very sad.
It's a extremely heartbreaking story, especially with it being, Easter Sunday, and this is not the kind of event that we want to happen at all to any members of our community.
Police won't know the 10-year-old's exact cause of death until the medical examiner does an autopsy. Well, some scattered showers are starting to clear out, but some cooler air is sticking around. Meteorologist Chessie McNeil giving us your hour-by-hour forecast. I got out between shows and the sunshine was trying to do its thing, but didn't quite do it.
Yeah, those clouds just too thick, right?
Yeah.
Trying to come through, and it will. Eventually, these clouds will begin to break down. At least the rain, heavy rain, is pushed well off to the east of us, over toward South and North Carolina. We just have a few sprinkles out there, mainly up here to the north, and that's where it's been really all morning long. It's light for the most part. You may have some drizzle back down toward the perimeter, going around 285, but for the most part, clouds in place, and we will get rid of those clouds. You can see some down here to the south as well. It's just south of Covington, over toward McDonough right now, and we'll say central portions of Henry County, down toward Griffin as well, in Spalding County. Just a few light sprinkles there. The clouds will be with us at least for the rest of the afternoon. It's keeping our temperatures on the cool side. In the upper 60s right now. We started out in the 60s. I think that's where we're going to stay for much of the day. Now, if those clouds break up enough and we get a little bit of sunshine poking through, those temperatures will start to go up. You see, we're down to the 50s up here to the north and east. Got Gainesville at 53, 55 over toward Duluth, 55 also in Athens, but you get those upper 60s down there to the south. 68 degrees, our forecast high temperature. It will feel cool out there because of the winds that we'll have around. It will be a bit breezy. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Gusts will be a little bit higher than that at times. We'll drop back down to 64 degrees with sunny skies by 7 o'clock tonight. So if you got to get home and walk the dog, at least it should be a little bit drier, a little bit sunnier. And we're going to hold on to the sun for much of this week. I think you're going to like the week's outlook. We'll talk about that in the full forecast coming up. Aisha?
Gas prices continue to fall here in Georgia, but a gallon of regular is still $1 higher than it was a year ago, clocking in at $3.71 today. That's according to AAA. The nationwide average is still sitting over $4 a gallon. So the Biden administration is making some key changes to help ease the strain. But as Sam Brock explains, that means he'll be going back on some key campaign promises.
Nationwide, the pain at the pump is stinging, especially for Americans traveling long distances this holiday weekend.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Gas prices stink.
Now, for the first time since President Biden took office, the government is greenlighting onshore oil drilling on federal land. The move would open up 144,000 acres of land to lease sales across 9 different states. The course reversal, intended to help struggling families, comes at a steep political cost after this adamant campaign pledge.
By the way, no more drilling on federal lands, period. Period, period, period.
Oil experts say the president is granting just 1/5 of the land the petroleum industry was seeking, adding it could take up to a year to build infrastructure and see results.
In the short term, this is going to do very little as far as reducing gasoline prices because it's going to take the industry some time to drill and produce more oil.
Oil prices, which are set on a global market, spiked last month after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Facing pressure to take action, the White House has already released millions of barrels from strategic reserves and announced plans to allow the sale of cheaper ethanol-blended gasoline during the summer when it's typically banned. Prices have dipped slightly over the past several weeks, but the national average is still $4.09 a gallon, $1.22 higher than the same time last year.
$40 used to fill up my tank. Now it does not do so.
This latest effort by the government has outraged some environmental groups. A senior official at Friends of the Earth writing in part, President Biden is prioritizing oil executive profits over future generations. A catch-22 for an administration that's fought for renewable energy.
Well, we haven't heard this in a while in a way that we want to. New numbers show COVID cases are rising in the U.S. once again. Experts warn the incoming wave will drive up hospitalizations in multiple states, especially those with lower vaccination rates in the following weeks. The increase in cases are believed to be a result of a subvariant called BA2. It's at least 30% more contagious. Experts are not sure just how the positivity rate, how high it will climb. Don't expect numbers we saw during Omicron surge. Case numbers are already climbing in both New York and Washington, D.C. New this midday, an important update before you plan your next trip. The CDC is updating its COVID travel alert system. The CDC's travel warnings mark countries on a scale of 1 to 4 from the lowest to the highest risk for travelers. But starting today, the CDC says it's going to scale back the use of that level 4 and only use the tier for special circumstances like extremely high case counts or places where a new variant of concern has emerged. The agency says it wants to help the public understand where the concern is most urgent. The spring break travel season officially ends today, and this morning plenty of travelers passed through Hartsfield-Jackson Airport with their masks on. A federal mask mandate for planes and public transportation that was supposed to end today, but the White House extended it to May 3rd. Travelers we spoke to say they didn't mind the mask.
I think it's perfectly fine. The numbers are going up again, and we're in a crowded place. We should put them on, take them off later.
Better safe than sorry?
Better safe than sorry.
Hartsfield-Jackson expected nearly 5 million people to travel through the airport within the past 2 weeks. Later today, owners of short-term rentals in Atlanta like Airbnbs could get some good news. City Council will consider temporarily suspending actions or penalties for owners of short-term rentals until June 1st. They've been a problem in some parts of the cities after complaints of big parties and a lot of noise. Last March, council members made it mandatory for owners to have a permit to list their property to rent. The city of Atlanta wants to honor the life and legacy of a baseball legend on and off the field. City council members will vote today on an ordinance to rename the Adams Park baseball field in southwest Atlanta to the Henry Louis Hank Aaron Baseball Complex, and we'll check in with the council to see if the park will get renamed after hammering Hank. Well, today is tax day, and if you are like many people, you may have pushed things off to the last minute. Some tips on what to do if you still haven't filed. That's next. About 1 in 3 people are what the IRS calls tax filing procrastinators. Those are people who file 3 weeks leading up to tax day. And for those 30% of people, time is up. This year's tax deadline was actually a little later than usual thanks to the Easter holiday. If you still need to file, the IRS is asking you to do it electronically. Right now, it's taking up to 6 months to process a paper return, and things are getting a little more complicated this year. You might need to file in the child tax credit and also that third stimulus check into your return, so don't wait. If you need some last-minute help with your taxes, there is a way to get it for free. The United Way of Greater Atlanta is hosting free tax prep